It's a remote control. And I am sure every one of you has felt this special feeling that spreads from your fingers to your entire body when taking the remote control in your hand. I'm talking about the power to be able to watch whatever you want to watch. This special feeling made me believe that something big was going on behind the TV screen. And that is why I chose to study communication 3 years ago. But when I started my classes, I realized that the energy that the television transmits us through the remote control was disappearing due to an audience decline. By watching this graph, you are probably asking yourself if we will be able to feel the power of the remote control in the future. That is why we are going to analyze the following points today. First of all, what are the reasons for the emerging crisis in broadcast television? Second of all, what are the consequences of the audience decline for the broadcast television industry? And at last, if there is any way to solve this unwanted situation. So, let's start with the reasons for the broadcast television crisis. The explanation for the audience decline is just that the broadcast television is placed in a highly competitive media scenario. First of all, they have to compete against companies that make business within the television industry, such as cable television, satellite television, or the networks itself. If we retake the graph that we saw before and add some information, we will see that the introduction of these new alternatives to broadcast television is related to the audience decline. The result of it is that the combined audience of the 4 big networks in the United States is only 45% nowadays, according to the book Broadcasting, Cable, Internet, and Beyond. This is half of the people they used to reach back in the 70s. But this is only the start, because broadcast television has also to compete against other media. They have competed always against cinema, radio, and newspapers, but they are actually a very big problem for broadcast television because they are also experiencing an audience decline. The big problem for broadcast television are the new media such as cell phones, internet, or video games. According to an executive summary of Nielsen rating published in 2008, 25% of the European older than 30 years play video games 6 to 10 hours a week. And another report of the same company says that the time spent on internet by US citizens increased by 9% during 2008. But what does this bad information really mean for the broadcast television industry? Let's take a look at the consequences of the audience decline. If we use more and more the new media, logically less and less people is left for the broadcast television industry. And that is a fact that the advertisers know very well. That is why they are spending less money on broadcast television. The ad spend on broadcast television decreased by 9% during the first quarter of 2009, according to Nielsen ratings. And on the other hand, advertisers are spending more money in new, cheaper, and more effective media like social networks and blogs. The ad spend on such media increased amazingly by 119% between 2008 and 2009. Watching this bad data, it seems that there is no bright future for broadcast television, but is there any way they can leave this misleading path? The answer to this question is just one word: convergence. Since people is shifting toward new media, broadcast television has to find a way to include these new media offers in its business. One possibility is by expanding to the competitors' field, like Disney or Fox have done. Disney owns the broadcast network ABC, and they also manage the cable network ESPN nowadays. And Robert Murdoch, the CEO of Fox, also owns DirecTV, who is one of the 2 satellite television providers. Another possibility is just a synergy between broadcast television and the new media, such as cell phones or internet. I found an example of this very important trend that will shape the future of the media in a recent article in technewsworld.com. The article said that IBM has patented a new remote control with which we will be able to Twitter while watching our favorite TV shows. So, as we see, broadcast television has started to adapt to the new media scenario, but they are doing it very slowly because broadcast television is still very profitable. In conclusion, we learned today that the reason for the broadcast television crisis is that it is placed in a very competitive media scenario that leads to an audience decline. And that this audience decline leads to a decrease on ad spend, a decrease in advertising on broadcast television. And that the only way that broadcast television can overcome this problem is by merging with the new media offers. Hopefully the leaders of the broadcast television industry react before it is too late, because I don't know you, but I can't imagine a world without my favorite TV shows.